So what are lists in Python? That's what we'll be covering today. We'll be using techniques we covered earlier, such as indexing, and we'll be using lists in the future quite a lot because they're an essential part of programming. So let's roll the intro and get straight into it. So once I reset the timer, let's get straight into talking about lists. Oops, give me a sec. Right, so lists. Lists in Python are another data type similar to ints and strings, but a list is known as a structured data type. So say, let's set it into a variable and let's call it shopping list. We're going to set it using the equals. And to denote a list, we need to use square brackets. So by putting the square brackets, we're telling Python that we want to use a list. Now in here can go a sequence of elements. So I'm going to be using strings and say apples, then the comma denotes another element is starting. Then oranges and pears. So let's just leave our list at that for now. And if we want to print our shopping list, it's going to print it as is because we haven't asked for any specific thing in the list. We've just asked for the whole list. So when it prints, we see apples, oranges, pears. Now if you remember back to the last video, we can use something called indexing. And apples is index 0, oranges 1 and pears 2. So say we want to access oranges, we need to use index 1. And to tell the index, we use again square brackets. Now if we run the code again, what we're going to see is Python telling us oranges. Now what happens if we give Python an index that doesn't exist? For example 0, 1, 2, 3. Index 3 doesn't exist, so if we feed that into the brackets of shopping list, it's going to tell us that there's an index error exception. It helpfully tells us that the list index is out of range. So we can go stop the program and fix it. So that's it for lists. We'll be using lists in depth when we use for loops and the such, but for now that's it. So thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.